Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Age of Strife. So, you guys rest the night in the keep.
Yep.
Wake up the next morning. These servants are on hand. They prep you guys with a breakfast. Again, you can take a half day's rations today. And you set out. Unless there's...
When we leave, I look to the stables because I look to the stables to gauge the stables and see what is there. See
Nothing.
what is there
Empty.
right now. Okay, and these are the stables when the Countess gets back. Their horses will be parked, and I imagine the carriage and whatever else they have on their journey will be near the stables.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get a good picture of that whole scene.
Okay. Done. You have a good idea of how it lays out. There are temporary structures built near the tower, fairly close to the tower, but there's no curtain wall around them or anything. Okay. Off you guys go. You head eastward.
Yep.
Towards River Grove.
And
once again, going out at level 1 into the forest.
So
I
what
am
is your...
flanking the cart or the carriage.
Sure. On the riverside or on the marsh side?
On the marsh side.
So, what is your plan for when you arrive at the forest? Generally speaking, I don't need details, but are you going to walk up and walk into the forest? Are you going to stop a half mile away? Just what is your plan generally?
I'd like to stop about a half mile before the forest, and probably before we enter the forest, see if we can see any sort of beings, humanoids, anyone in the forest, and try and catch their attention before going to them.
We can always go up to the edge of the forest and blow our horns.
Oh, we all have our horns on us.
Yeah, I don't know what they think of that, but we make a racket.
Okay. So, you guys near the woods. You spot it from a mile away, more or less. This big shady area with all these large trees popping out of it. And you get closer and closer until you're maybe a quarter mile from the woods. There's no sign of life coming from anything in there. I mean, sure, you see birds and whatnot, but there's no 8-foot-tall centaurs cruising around.
I imagine they would leave pretty heavy tracks. Could we look to the ground for like horse tracks? Horse tracks are rather obvious.
Well, these ones wouldn't be shoed, of course, but you don't see any tracks on the ground around here. The area looks pretty untrodden. There's no trail. You guys are kind of forcing your way through the grasses here, so there's no clear signs of recent travel of anything. You would notice that the grass is being tipped over far more than you would tracks on the ground.
How difficult would it be to move the wagon through the forest? Like, how dense is it?
It's a fairly light forest.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't think it would be too terribly difficult to move it through. There might be roots and ruts that you guys would have to kind of move over, but it would be slow going, but it would be possible.
Okay. Well, I think that's my idea. I think just rolling into the forest with some barrels of ale and just hope they find us when we find the right ones.
So you guys are actually going to enter into the woods with the wagon.
I think that's what I propose anyway.
I will take the Luther's suggestion, and I'll keep on foot and stay next to my donkey with all the spears on it.
And I will walk ahead of the wagon.
So you're going to walk in the front.
Yes.
Amy is going to walk on the left or right side.
The right side.
Okay. And Stefan is riding in the wagon.
Probably just beside it, walking, next to the crossbow.
Okay.
As we walk through it, as we walk in the forest, I'm keeping an eye open for an open grove within the forest, because my logic is these centaurs to be pretty big creatures. So wherever it is they would be, I imagine they would have room to settle. That makes sense.
Okay.
I've got a bad feeling about going into the forest. I think it's not
The
smart,
shield
but
obviously is strong and an enemy.
I mean, we could always just stand out here and blow our horns and see what happens.
Mm,
Maybe arrows will rain down on us and we'll all die, but
I'm always happy to blow my own horn.
So you guys are outside of the woods right now having this discussion. Do you go in or do you stay out and call?
We can try. Let's try the horns first.
I'm gonna take out my horn and take a look at everyone.
yeah.
I also propose we get close in case we need to shield wall up, just as a precaution step.
Yeah, I think we can blow our horns to see what happens.
Okay.
So we all start blowing the horns.
All right, your horns go off in unison. These nice, long, drawn-out.
You see fires on mountaintops. They're lit. There's a chain reaction. Some nice music starts playing. It's great.
And now the question is, how long do you wait? You know, the centaurs might take them a while to get here from wherever they are.
Yeah,
It's
if it's
unlikely
not
that
too
they're.
dark, I think we could wait like an hour.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
not dark at all.
Maybe blow the horns like every 10 minutes.
They'd be too annoyed by the time they got here if we did that. Like, stop blowing our horns, Jesus.
All right.
Maybe. Yeah, I think it's fun.
Half an hour passes when you see movement in the woods. You guys are fairly close, 30 feet from where the woods get thick. You're maybe underneath the tree so that you've got shade from the burning sun.
I have one hand on my sword hilt, the other hand on top of my shield, ready to get in fighting position if need be.
And I if I see some movement, I just yell, "Hail, stranger!"
You do. You see an 8.5-foot tall centaur approaching you. Bare-chested, with a large club in one hand. The lone centaur emerges from the shadow of the woods, but you think you see movement inside. Too hard to really tell what it is, but it's probably a few others in the woods somewhere.
I kind of motion, if I'm out in front waiting for this guy to approach, I'm going to kind of motion to keep their weapons down.
Okay. Luther, would you give me a charisma check?
Okay, I thought you were going to say you take 20 arrow shots. Yeah, I can do that. What's my charisma?
13.
Yeah.
But my notes say.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you had 17 charisma. Wow.
I thought about doing that, but I put it in int instead.
Super smart.
Nice.
You hail them, making a decent first impression. The centaur struts out till it's about 20 feet away from you, and in a deep, rumbly voice says, "These are our lands."
I say, yes, we don't intend to trespass, good centaur. There's a boy that went missing around here. Well, kind of an adult, so not so much a boy, but we've come out looking for him. And, well, yeah, we've come out looking for him. Do you know who we speak of?
Human?
Yes. Male.
What is that in your wagon?
It's barrels of ale. We thought in case he was with you, we might be able to have a trade for him.
Is it not customary to first offer gifts before negotiations? Your people are strange.
Well, in our culture it is not, but I guess there's kind of an awkward. Just kind of standing there looking at each other. Have you seen this boy, by chance?
We have seen a boy, and a man, and many other
Yes.
men.
Well, this boy, he had a man with him, a guard. He was a noble boy, so
Playing pretend, were they?
something like that.
Wishing they could be as mighty.
Yes, that sounds about right.
We have seen your boy.
Do you happen to know where he is now?
Perhaps if you... He, again, looks over your shoulder. I mean, he's 8 feet tall, so he doesn't have to really lean out that far. But he makes a point of looking over it, seeing the barrels behind you.
Yeah.
Perhaps a trade is in order. We will tell you what we know if you deliver those gifts you bring.
Oh, that's an interesting offer there. Allow me to talk for a moment among my family.
He nods.
Okay, so I guess we go back into a huddle, back by the wagon.
Shield huddle.
We can certainly offer one. I think though it would be good if they pay for the other two in trade, and we let them know there is more to come if they ever need. But we are willing to offer one as a gift of hospitality.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Any objections to that?
No, that is completely fair. Also, say Ash Liftman to them and see if they've heard of the name, because if he's a noble, he might have said, "Do you know who I am?" and that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
it might ring a bell for them.
Okay, that's fair. So I guess I'll go over to a barrel with. I can't lift it alone, so I'll probably get Stefan
You'd
or
help you with
Tyler.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get somebody out there. We pick up one of the barrels and bring it over to the centaur.
Neil, you said someone with 17 or 18 strength could do it by themselves.
I think an 18 strength is enough to 18-50 strength is enough to lift it over your head. If you're just trying to get it into a cart, 17 strength could fumble it in awkwardly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the
mind,
two of you together can carry a barrel with ease. But it's pretty heavy.
Okay.
So the two of you bring the barrel over to from the centaur.
Yeah, and I say it's a gift for you and your people. We've heard that you like it. So,
Is that a joke?
no, it's just a statement. We simply wish to please you.
We do not accept puns in this land. There are
There's no puns, sir. If I may speak up, we have many more barrels just like these. Maybe we could create something long term here today. And then I kind of back up.
the centaur comes over, and leans down, tries to pick up the barrel, realizes it's really fucking heavy, and then uses one of its 4 feet to pull it back towards it, rolling it, and says, "Your boy and man that were playing pretend, wishing to be as mighty as us, faking their union of flesh."
Riding the
The
horse.
union of flesh.
They
Brother,
were
brother.
meeting
Riding
with
the
other
horse.
men down by the river.
I see.
The meeting did not go well.
Oh. Well, that's interesting.
The elder man ended up in the river.
Oh dear.
No.
The younger was taken by boat.
Downriver?
across and away.
Oh. Did you happen to see what the other men looked like? Did they?
Brown manes, short of stature. Dressed more appropriately than the four of you. Less shiny coats.
I see. Oh, this is. Thank you very much. This is very useful to us. We've.
And
been
those
trying-
other 3 barrels, where are they going?
Well, we know that you like to trade. Maybe we could do that today. We have more at home, and maybe we could form a sort of partnership.
We've heard many years ago you and your people used to trade with our people.
So the stories go.
Yes.
Maybe today we can start that again.
We
have
stopped trading when you poisoned our people, delivered beverages laden with disease.
I didn't hear about that. That's terrible.
That is news to us, and we greatly apologize for the actions of our predecessors.
Perhaps as a sign of good faith, perhaps we could share a drink together, and that way you would be at ease. Perhaps we could set up this as a gift of hospitality, that we share a drink to seal a deal.
Indeed. A good idea.
A noble idea. The centaur turns over his shoulder and calls out in a bizarre language that has some sort of like whinnying mixed with some sort of songy language.
Nice.
It's really awkward to hear. And 4 more centaurs emerge from the woods. Of the 4 that come out, 3 are female, 1 is male. The 2 of the females wear a quiver kind of over their shoulder that hangs down by their side with bows. The males all carry clubs. And one of them has a pack that goes around their waist and kind of dangles in front of them, like an oversized fanny pack, but not quite as tight.
Okay.
Yeah, they arrive. There's some more awkward whinnying / singing back and forth. And then they kind of they take the barrel and set it up on the wagon, getting very close. You can smell as they get closer. They've got this strong scent of an unwashed horse that probably rolls in the mud or something. Pungent and not all that pleasant.
Yeah.
But they get the barrel up and just start pouring drinks more or less just into their own mouths. They don't seem to have any tankards or cups.
Yeah,
with
I was
them.
wondering how horses drank ale. I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So they take a turn, each one of them drinking, and then step away, giving you guys space to do the same.
Go ahead, Stefan.
I will step forward and I will drink in the same manner as what they have.
Okay.
And I follow suit behind Stefan.
Yeah.
All
If
right.
they don't be offended by our cultural appropriation.
Seems to work.
I will also do, and Stefan, hold back my hair.
Okay.
Perhaps we could arrange a bargain for the barrels of ale.
This drink is most welcomed. What sort of bargain would you seek, short one?
We do not know your culture. Do you trade in gold, or what would be appropriate to exchange goods?
We have some stocks of shiny metals your people seem to love, but they mean very little to us.
Indeed. Well, that would be a fair currency.
Yeah, so see, the way that we work is that those shiny objects are exchanged to get the ale.
We understand the concept of currency.
Oh, in that case, that's fine. In that case, the shiny metal will be fine. Let's see, perhaps 40 of the shiny gold ones for each barrel.
The one with the one you're talking to whinnies back and forth. The one with the oversized fanny pack digs in and pulls out a combination of copper and gold coins, a fistful, and just kind of holds it out to you.
Do you have any idea of how much it is?
There's probably like 40 coins in there, but about half of them are copper. Maybe 2/3 of them are copper.
That's fair enough for me. I don't want to.
2/3 of copper, so that's what's that? 13 gold or so. I'll say, the different colors have different values. This one here is gold. Good. 40.
Those colors are the same.
Not to us. Not to us. And they weigh differently. Perhaps you can tell from that. If you take this one and if you take this one, they feel different.
The heavy bronze ones, not the light bronze ones?
That's right, yes.
I hope that makes sense.
He looks you up and down. Takes his time before he says anything. Can you give me a charisma check there, Stefan?
Mm-hmm. I've got 14.
Well, it's better than me.
Oh,
Ooh.
very nice.
Mm.
The horse nods and whinnies to the other guy, who shakes his head, dumps all the coins back in the pouch, starts pulling, like, weighing, tosses one, pulls out another, tosses. It is a bit of a process. In the end, he comes up with 20 gold before the translation comes back that is all the heavy coins they have.
Perhaps you trade with other things. This is not enough for us to buy the barrels.
Then we will give you twice as many light ones. That should be the same weight.
See, the weight is to differentiate, or is to tell the difference between the different shiny metals. We can see the different colors. I know it's a very complicated process. One of these is 100 of these ones.
100-to-1 ratio?
Yes, that is how we work. There is like the shiny metal here.
Are you trying to cheat us?
No, not at all. You, as you have said, you are strong and noble, and we certainly respect your nobility.
Yes, judging from your strength, cheating, it would be a very bad idea.
And we would like to continue this, so it is in our best interest to be fair with you.
Another thing, I was studying the texts and things about your people, and another thing I read was that you once traded with the elves of the forest. Is that true?
The elves have long been friends and allies. It is only your interference that keeps us from continued cooperation.
So you have not been trading with them since the war started?
The last time we tried to trade with them, your people killed our emissaries.
Maybe looking to Luther. Maybe if we create something long-term here today with trading this ale and the coins, maybe as a show of good favor, maybe we could reach out to the elves in your guys' name. We could serve as a middleman between you and them.
Why have
Well,
you killed us before, and are now willing to work?
What my brother says is ludicrous. The elves are murderous and they have magics which ruin the world.
The people that killed your people, they're of a different clan than us. We're a family that likes to get along with everyone.
We too have violent clans.
Yes.
Tribes, as we call them.
Yes.
Perhaps with the other tribes, do you have dealings with them? Perhaps they would have more of the
No,
heavy...
we will find the appropriate weight of coins for you. Be patient.
Yes, that is fine.
They return to their whinnying nonsense, and eventually the centaur just takes like 2 handfuls of coins and extends them towards you. These are mixed copper and silver. And the lead centaur says, "This will do."
I say yes. This seems fine. Thank you. So he's gonna load all the coins into a bag or something.
Yeah, they unload the remaining ale barrels, and with their hooves, kind of like roll them towards the forest. At least the 4 of them do, leaving the one here to continue negotiating.
Perhaps we could transport the ale to near your home to make that easier for you and your
Our
people.
woods belong to us. We do not open our borders to others.
Very well.
Tell
It was a good
your
decision.
violent clans, were they to enter our domain, they would meet a swift and untimely end.
Of course.
Yes.
Their bodies would be food for the monsters in the south.
One more thing before you leave. What's your name? Do you have names? I see. I am Luther Thorn.
Thorn, like the river, like the woods. Are you an elf?
Something like that. No, but we do respect the forest. And my brother did mention trade with the elves. Maybe that is something we can come to do in the future. Maybe we can protect your emissaries on their way to elven lands. Help establish trade again.
We will talk again sometime.
Yes. If we do want to talk again, is this the best way to do it? To come outside the forest and blow our horns?
Yes, stay outside.
Very well.
It is our policy to riddle with arrows before we question those who walk within our boundaries.
Okay, and before he leaves, I show him my signet ring and show him the symbol on it, and I say, "This is the symbol of our family." So this
It is
how
so
you can
small. Is that representative of the size of your family?
No, it's representative of the size I can fit on my finger.
You should get larger fingers.
Yes, I-
That was a good joke.
Centaur turns and trots off into the woods.
Oh, one more thing, Sir Centaur. Do you? Okay.
No.
I assume I remember which direction he said that the guys went.
You said across the river.
Went across the river and into the Meadowlands.
You could try calling him by his name. You did get his name, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if I could get it right. Okay, so I guess we count up the money that we got.
So you got the 20 gold, and then you ended up with 37 silver and like 50 copper.
And is this going into house treasury?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a pretty fair trade.
Did you guys? It was 20 gold for 4 barrels of ale, and so you ended up with like 23, 24 silver, 24 gold in the end.
Yeah, something like that.
So a slight,
We didn't do great, but we made some friends.
yeah,
That's what counts.
That seems okay.
investments in the future.
Yeah. I guess after this and we get everything settled, I suggest that we take the cart back to Thornwatch Keep and ask about what may be out in the Meadowlands. That
Also,
people like, who the heck are these people?
Luther, maybe we should camp out tonight and in the night as we talked.
What about it?
brother, I don't want to camp out when we can get back.
Guess
to
what? Guess what, Stefan?
Hmm.
I punched Stefan in his face. Do I need to roll to hit?
Yes, you do need to roll the hit, but you get +1 for surprise.
I'm very surprised.
You need a 15 or better.
Is he proficient with unarmed fighting?
Yeah, exactly 15. He gives you a punch in the face.
All right. How much damage? 1?
D2 temporary damage.
Strength bonus?
Oh, no, yeah, D2 +1 temporary damage.
I immediately, once this happens, I just like jump in between them. And start...
Okay. You take 3 damage, Stefan.
You want to disrespect me when it's just us? Cool. But you've done it in front of the sheriff, you've done it in front of the Lithmans, and now you did it in front of the Centaurs. And I'm getting tired of it.
I've been tired of you since you came here when I was 8.
Okay, well then should we go? Roll for initiative?
No. I'm trying to separate this as much as I can when I'm mediumly encumbered and the smallest one of us. And like, oh, stop, please.
I say resorting to fist shows that you're not one of us and never will be.
How about you
And
just
I
keep
roll-
your mouth shut?
And I roll for initiative.
All right. Everyone roll for initiative that's participating in this combat.
Okay,
Bringing them up, participating.
Yeah, that's participating.
That should be 5.
so if I am going to make a trip attack at Ty, is that a normal spear initiative?
Yep.
Brilliant. Is it again? 6. Okay.
Okay.
3 is the right speed for just a regular action, right? Like trying to step in between them.
Right. Stefan and Ty, I didn't see weapon speeds added onto that. What are you guys just punching?
Yeah, I was just
sorry.
using fists.
Sorry, +3. So just
Okay.
for normal. I'm not
Right.
punching.
You're not punching?
No. I'm being a good neighbor and using my words. So yeah, I mean, I'm certainly going to defend myself. So I get myself ready. So if he comes for me, I'm going to punch him.
All right, so you're
but-
first then.
Yep. But you know, I'll just say, brother, having to resort to violence, you can't use your words. You'll never be one of us.
Okay. Luther goes next.
Okay, I step in between them and I try to like push them apart, and I say, "We stop fighting right now. We have a job to do, and we're not doing it."
I turn my back and walk away and breathe for a few seconds.
All right.
So after hopping down off the cart or wherever I was, seeing the fights broken down, I'll just like point my spear and be like, "You're all right. All right."
See, being brought up by the goblins means you can't control your base instincts. All you can do is use that strength.
Yes, I'm turning this card
I
around.
turn to Stefan. If you got something to say to me, how about you shut your mouth and show me what you got to say? You said you hide behind your words. You know why? Because you know you can't take me.
Your intelligence confounds me. Your logic is flawed, just as is expected from one who is not one of us. If I want to say something, I should shut my mouth.
No, I still got that thread and needle I was going to use on Bluebeard.
Yeah, okay. Your threats are as base as your stench and your manners. You are a disgrace to the family. Yeah, actually, not even to the family. You are just a disgrace as a human being. Go back to your
You're
swamps.
a disgusting human being. I've met goblins more favorable than you.
Yeah, well, you can go. Feel free to go back to your kind if that's where you feel more comfortable.
Maybe I should.
Maybe you should.
Boy.
I walk in the opposite direction, but sort of still near the car.
So the fight breaks up. I think tensions are still a little high here.
Luther's just getting all our stuff, putting it back in the cart, getting it turned around.
Alright.
Had enough of this. We're leaving.
Fully armored, you guys turn around and head back towards Thornwatch Keep.
Yeah.
It is a tense and quiet journey for the rest of the day. I don't think there's a lot of talking amongst you all. And it's just kind of the wind rustling through the tall grasses that do something to hear. That late afternoon, you guys arrive back at Thornwatch Keep, which, as you can see on the map, is built on a small hill.
Yeah, and my intention is to just head up and talk to the knight again about what we saw. Well, what we heard that the centaur saw.
Stable still empty, Neil?
Mm-hmm. As you guys pull around to the front of the keep, the door at the base of it opens up, and the knight steps out, saying, "Well, here's things went decently for you. You're all still alive, and you have the right number of donkeys."
Yes, we met the centaurs, and we had a little chat. Who is it that roams the Meadowlands? Are there people that live there?
There are no nomadic tribes.
We were told by the centaurs that the Lithman boy was taken captive by some brown-haired short folks, and the guard was killed and thrown into the river.
The centaur said short, but he is very tall, remember?
Yes, he might not be short at all. Centaurs are very large.
Yeah.
I don't know who he means, if he means humans, and the halflings were driven out ages ago. Doubt they've returned, and I doubt very much that a halfling could take...
Yes. He said that there was some kind of confrontation, and things seemed to go awry. I guess you don't know who the Lithman boy could have been meeting out there.
I don't think there was a meeting. I think there was a misunderstanding on the centaurs. It seems if the bodyguard ended up in the river, that there was the confrontation was a straight out fight, which the bodyguard lost, which would suggest certainly fighting men.
There is a gang of bandits that operate along the river, attacking fishermen here and there, as well as anyone who dares try to... Yes, are you familiar with them?
I've heard.
Yes, that could very well be them. I'm not sure why they would have had a confrontation, but this might be the lead.
If they've taken the son, then surely they don't get anything out of that directly, unless they're recruiting. That would make more sense.
Do you know where do these people have a base camp along the river somewhere?
I wish I knew. They've been a problem for some time. We tend to resupply via boats. Wagons are slow and don't carry very much. And from time to time, although quite rare, our shipments have been disrupted, destroyed, and mostly, or usually have portions of them carried off with the pilots dead.
Well, we could go back to Wadsworth and find out for sure and then go. But the clock, it seems, is ticking on the life of the Lithman boy, and I think we may have to just stalk the river and hope we find...
Well, perhaps, no, what we require is some sort of a tracker. Perhaps someone from one of the local villages. Can you point us in the direction where we'd be able to find one? and then we
Yes,
can start from where they last were seen and track them back.
If
I
you're
guess
looking for a skilled tracker, I would look at one of the villages along the forest, or perhaps one of the hunters from Wadsworth. There's not much game out in the Meadowlands anymore, so trackers are usually found closer to the woods.
Who would you use? Who would the Countess use to go out on a hunting party?
The captain of the guard, Kel Yoshin Ashwood. She is the best tracker that we have.
I assume she is gone with.
Yes.
Indeed.
Very well.
We'll have to figure something out. Thank you.
All right. As we step away from Kelbriar, I'll go up to Lufa and say, could it be possible that the Liftmans were asked for this ransom, and then they went to you instead of paying
Yes,
it?
it certainly could be, though. You would think I would have been informed that they were with the gang.
Where do the
I was told, though, that this should be kept quiet. I don't think the Lithmans wanted knowledge of what happened to get out for whatever reason.
Quite right.
So I do believe they might know of the gang's involvement, and they might have known why they were out to meet the gang. I believe it may have been some kind of meeting that went awry and turned into a.
Well, why would they? I think you're bringing far too much into this, because if that was the case, then why would they request us to go out to see that and then assume that it was the Centaurs that were taking it?
It's very strange, and we'll have to find out more once we find the boy. Because that's our objective now.
And to do that, we need to find that gang. So perhaps we should go check out the villages and employ someone who would be willing to track the gang.
If they're close enough, I believe that to be a good idea. I just don't want to waste any time.
Very good. We should set out immediately then. Perhaps we can leave the cart here.
Possibly.
Hitch one of the donkeys up.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yes, we can move faster without the cart, I believe.
The other thing is we're going to have to cross the river. Perhaps we could find out from perhaps one of the villages along the river has a boat. We could ferry across in.
How did we get across it in the first place?
We got the boat from the Wadsworth.
Okay, so we have to find a different boat. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing the villages along the coast are fishing villages, so...
Yeah, they have to. Alright, well, let's head out to the villages then.
Okay, so to get to the villages, you're going to have to go through Wadsworth and back south. There is no place to cross the river other than Wadsworth.
Sorry, so there's no boats along the village? Would Thornwatch Keep, is that along the river? Would
The
would they
keep
have
is
a boat?
near the river. They don't have any boats because they're not quite close enough to the river to have any.
And there are any villages like along the river that we could.
Let me take a look at my secret map.
So if we have
Guessing
to
it'd be-
go to Wadsworth, we might as well just take the cart back with us.
Yeah, there are no villages along the river anymore. There used to be villages along the river, but they have since been abandoned and left behind.
Okay, so
All right, so head back to Wadsworth, drop the cart off, pick up a hunter, and then head out the other side of the river.
yes, and I'll also have to talk to the Lithmans about the developments.
Mm.
See if he knows anything else he can tell me.
Okay. So you guys head back to Wadsworth. Without the cart, it's
With the cart.
manageable. Sorry, without the ale in the cart, it's much more manageable. Well, you might even be able to make it there all in one day. Let me take a look at my maps. So you went like 7 miles at half speed, then 7 miles back. So that's 20. No, you'll have to probably stay in Thornwatch overnight or camp on the road.
Okay, I think we should just stay in the keep then.
Could we just keep on going? What time would we get back to Wadsworth? We just kept on going.
It's
if we just wait overnight.
another 9 miles ish. So
Is there
you
a
would get
penalty
back
for
pretty
staying up
late.
all night?
And you'd be traveling near the stinking marsh at night, which would be a little bit dangerous because all the goblins come out at night.
All right, let's camp here for tonight.
Yeah.
Hmm.
As tempting
Fear
as
the goblins of the stinking
Just
marsh. Afraid, be very afraid. All right, cool. The night passes uneventfully. I think, Ginger, it's been 2 more nights, so you should be at full HP by now, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
I'm at 8. Everyone else is at 4, yeah?
Yeah, I'm at my full 1 HP. I'm doing it.
No, hit points doesn't have to be a binary thing there, Pat. Alive, dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
So-
hovering on the brink all the time.
You guys head out the next day, and let's take a look for random encounters.
Oh boy. It's a big slug up on a hill.
I'm again flanking,
You begin what?
flanking the cart.
Ah.
Okay, I'm just riding in it because
I'll be riding it on the way back to town.
Luther is not the strongest man, nor is he the most healthy one.
Sure.
And he's carrying a lot of stuff.
Okay. You guys are cruising along the wagon ruts that serve as a trail for you. You see a couple of fishermen out on the river, but other than that, there's nothing too impressive that happens today. You get wafts of the stinking marsh kind of blowing over you as you approach it.
Yeah, I guess we'll just kind of keep eyes on the river while we're heading up. Just make sure there's no gang, possibly.
Yeah, well, you're all fairly well armed and armored. They take a foolish
Yeah.
bunch to assault you guys on the road right now. The sun is hot. It's been a really rough autumn with just pounding heat and not enough rain. But you guys eventually make it back to the north side of Wadsworth, come inside the city walls, deliver your cart back into its spot along with your donkeys, and are in town.
Yeah. So I guess as soon as I get there, we're gonna take the cart back to our estate and head over to the Lithmans. I'm heading to the Lithmans at least.
If you're going to head to Lithmans, I'm going to go and see if I can secure a hunter.
Okay.
Okay. What about the other 2 of you?
I'll go with Luther.
Ginger?
We stay at home.
Okay. So, Tiberodite and Luther, you guys are headed over to the Lithmans.
Yep.
And Stefan?
No, I'm heading for the hunter.
Right, you're heading for the hunter. Cool. All right, you guys head over to the Lithmans estate. It's just across the street and over one house. And, yeah.
I just make it pretty clear that I'm there about Ash and wait to see the man himself, I guess.
The father comes in, looking bright-eyed, then kind of looking around the room and getting a little darker. I heard you had word about my son?
Yes, we ventured to the River Grove and we got some information that we'd like to share with you. Your son was not taken captive by centaurs, this much we know, but he was taken captive by someone else. A man with brown hair, that's as much as we know. He was taken across the river. And we were wondering if you knew anything, maybe what he would be doing out there, who would have taken him.
A man across the river?
There was some kind of confrontation, and the bodyguard was killed and thrown into the river, and your son was taken.
According to the centaur, it appeared to be some type of meeting.
Yes. We have a suspicion that it might be the...
Sorry, guys. Can
Gilgan.
I break in? I'm just going to go AFK for 1 second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we have a suspicion that it might have been the Gill Gang, if you've heard of them.
Yes, I have.
we're not quite sure why there would have been a meeting with the Gill Gang.
Can't imagine why my son would meet with them, nor how he would even know to get in contact with them.
It could have easily have been a misunderstanding on the Centaur's part, though.
Yes, it could have just been that they were out by the river and they were just quickly taken captive. But either way, unless you have some other information, we're going to hunt down the Go Gang as quickly as possible.
This does not bode well.
No.
Do what you can for my son, and see these men butchered, if you would, please. If you could return their heads of their leaders to me, I would pay extra.
We can do that as well.
Thank you.
Not at all.
I bow my head and follow Luther.
Okay.
So while all of them are out, go back home and visit my father.
All right. You see your father. He is lying in bed, still blind.
Hello,
Who's that?
father. It's me, Marcella.
Marcella.
Yeah, I have some sad news, but it's no, don't worry, I'm working on it. So, you know, Ty Baradite and Stefan, they've not been getting well, and
I've never gotten along well. Those two have been butting heads for ever since I can remember. Their sibling rivalry has taken a long time to resolve.
well, I feel like it might get to a peak, if you know what I mean. And I want to be able to accept. Well, I already do accept Tybarodite, and I want to try and help them to get along. Could you give me some guidance, maybe?
You see, Stefan was quite young when Ty showed up. Imagine being well, he's the youngest in the family. And he already had 2 older siblings, and around, what was it, 8 years old when Ty showed up? I don't frankly recall.
Yeah, 8 years old.
8-year-old boy all of a sudden gets another older brother. The insecurity of that, thinking that he wasn't good enough and he needed to be replaced, is something I should have spoken up to ages ago. But I honestly think it's just a young boy feeling that his family didn't like him enough and that he needed an older person to replace him. And as for Ty, well, poor bastard was raised by goblins. It's not his fault.
It does show. His first act was violence in every situation. Actually, that's what worries me. Is that Ty is explosive. That's the only way I can put it.
Yes, I understand. He's always been a bit... It's just the 2 of us in here, right? There's no one else?
There's no one else.
He's always been a bit sadistic. When it came time to train him with swords, he took to it more for the joy of seeing harm done than for the sport of it. It is I don't know if it's something that he was eating out there or just growing up amongst violence. He only thinks of violence now. Patience and love are the only things that you can show him. Hopefully that will move him away. Do make sure he doesn't hurt anyone. His impulses are to lash out, but I think within him he's a good soul. Just grew up in the wrong environment.
All right, thank you. They might be back in a few minutes, and let's not tell them that we had this discussion, and I will continue
No.
trying to.
I definitely
trying to-
think both of them would be insulted and
Yes.
feel even more insecure.
But
No.
I really don't want to have to choose one of them if they, start killing each other, which it looks like it might get there. Just
Is it
saying.
that bad?
Well, not yet, no.
Well, you're old enough now to hear this. If it does come to blows, you know who to side with.
Oh shit!
But I don't want to make the choice.
It shouldn't. Hopefully you can keep things civil.
Of course.
Your older brother is a... Well, he may have a good head on his shoulders. His notion for interpersonal things is not quite as astute as you. I hate to say it, but it is up to you to make sure that our family sticks together as much as it is up to Luther to lead this family forward. I think you will be probably his most valuable asset in the coming years.
All right. Well, I'll be back in an hour or so.
Bring more fish sticks.
Fish sticks.
I love fish sticks. Bring more of them.
The same one from the restaurant I got last time?
I don't particularly care from where. As long as
Alright.
they're not too coated in butter.
All right.
Makes them sloppy. No one likes sloppy fish sticks.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, let's go get quoted.
And I think on that note, we're actually going to go to break. Was there something else? You wanted to get a tracker, Jeff.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a pretty straightforward hire. I don't think that needs to be role played out. Let's see. Services. A guide for the wilds is about $1 a day. That would include tracking skills. So $1 a day to hire a guide / tracker.
All right, great. I don't need his name. Actually, no, I've got 14 charisma. I'll grab his name. Let me guess, Ash.
No, her name is Bertha.
Ooh.
Okay, and on that note, why don't we go to break? When we come back, we'll see what sort of trouble the party gets into. See you guys on the other side.